What's up, world? Welcome to Gauge Minds. I'm your host, Micah. Today we're going to be doing two results shows. We got results from Bellator 58, UFC 139. We'll get right to Bellator first. We had four picks from the main card that we had done. So the first fight that we had, Rafael Diaz versus Marlon Sandro. We had picked a unanimous decision victory for Marlon Sandro, figuring he primarily used his striking, just outstrike, and he out-battled Diaz, who was primarily more known for his grappling. So we figured if it went to the ground, he would have an advantage there. Sandro would keep it standing and win a unanimous decision victory. Didn't go that far, didn't even go that way, and actually Diaz did win part of the striking battle, clipping Sandro, getting the fight to the ground, but then Sandro took over on the ground. A very high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner who we just never see use it, took control, Diaz himself was able to get back up to a standing position, but Sandro sank in a head and arm choke, dragged the fight to the ground, and ended it. First round, arm triangle submission, Marlon Sandro. So one right winner. Next fight, a female mixed martial arts battle at 115 pounds between Bellator number 2 and number 3 ranked female fighters, Jessica Aguilar and Lisa Ward-Ellis. This was a rematch from the first ever mixed martial arts bout that Jessica Aguilar had ever had. Her first loss and her only loss by a stoppage. So she had a lot to want to get back from winning this fight. Lisa Ellis Ward, she hadn't been that active. Aguilar, the more active fighter. I thought the better stand-up. I had this going split decision. I just thought Aguilar would out-edge Ellis. Ellis, though, did have a very superb wrestling and submission background. Didn't want to doubt someone with those kind of credentials. Ended up being primarily a striking battle. The ground was used a little bit. It was a spectacular fight. Both ladies got bloody, got dirty, and beat each other up. But Jessica Aguilar soundly won every round, 10-9, and a 30-27 overall victory easily for Jessica Aguilar. So that's our second right prediction. Next fight we're moving on to was a 195-pound catchweight battle between Trevor Prangley, who was challenging Bellator middleweight champion Hector Lombard. Lombard fighting at 185 pounds, Prangley at 195. Lombard is mean. He throws bombs. He is an incredible mixed martial artist. The fight that we all need to be looking for, that we all need to see, is Anderson Silva versus Hector Lombard. But I'm going off in a whole different direction. He is a bad man, possibly the baddest man on the planet. We had him winning with a first-round TKO. It was a second-round TKO, but he hit Prangley and knocked him in and out of conscious several times. Devastating. The best power puncher since Mike Tyson. I mean, incredible. Just wow from Hector Lombard. And then it took us to our main event, where it was a lightweight championship match between the challenger, Michael Chandler, taking on the champion, Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez, Bellator 1 and say, was regarded as the best lightweight fighter in the world. I personally had him ranked top 3 with Gilbert Melendez, Frankie Edgar, and just above Benson Henderson. So I really had a lot of respect for Alvarez. I thought as long as he's with Bellator, he's going to continue on an incredible streak, just out-dueling guys that I didn't think were quite up to the same caliber. A lot of young, tough prospects, but I didn't think that anybody would actually challenge Alvarez seriously. Wow. Michael Chandler actually slugged Eddie Alvarez several times. I mean, Alvarez was running. He looked more like Frankie Edgar when Frankie Edgar was getting beat up by Gray Maynard. But he showed tough recovery. We thought that Eddie would come back. He lost the first 2 rounds, definitely won the 3rd round, started coming around towards the 4th round. In the 4th round, though, all of a sudden, Michael Chandler, from every adrenaline dump, found that extra will to win, kept hitting Alvarez with huge shots, got into the ground, sank in a rear naked choke. There's a new champion. We predicted a unanimous decision for Eddie Alvarez. I am totally wrong. And congratulations to Michael Chandler. I didn't think that he was up to the task. I didn't think at this time in his career he was ready for that level of competition. I was totally wrong about that one. Congratulations to the new Bellator champion. So for Bellator, we were 3 right, 1 wrong, and all 4 fights were amazing if you have a chance to check out Bellator 58 if you didn't already view it. So now we're going to move on to that UFC card. Get right to business. First fight was Shamar Bailey and Danny Castillo. These are 2 wrestlers who wrestle and lay on each other. We didn't expect anything excited. I thought we'd see a unanimous decision victory for Shamar Bailey. It was just, I liked him a little bit better than Castillo. Castillo, though, at the weigh-in felt horribly disrespected that Shamar Bailey was 2 pounds overweight, comes in, and with a first-round TKO, ground and pounding, soundly lays a whooping on Shamar Bailey, so that's a wrong prediction for us. The next fight was Matt Brown versus the Polish Pistola, Seth Baczynski. We had Baczynski winning with a second round armbar because I just thought that I see a default in Matt Brown's submission defense game, and I thought Baczynski would take it to the ground and take advantage of that. He ended up winning in the second round via a submission. It was a guillotine, though. Strong performance by Seth Baczynski. Some people thought that he just wasn't on the same level with Matt Brown. Well, now we can see Baczynski truly does deserve to be in the UFC. Congratulations, because I call that one. Congratulations to me. Next fight we're talking about now. Miguel Angel Torres and Nick Pace. Both of these men were slightly overweight at the weigh-ins. Don't know what was up on this card with everybody, but several of the fighters being overweight, out of shape, injured, whatnot. We thought Miguel would win a split decision victory, giving a lot of respect to Nick Pace, but Miguel Torres dominated him throughout the fight, got taken down several times, and just was attacking the whole time. I mean, you can't just judge a takedown. You've got to see the guy throwing heel shots, elbows, boxing the guy's ears, throwing head punches from the bottom. He's trying to be active. He's trying to have the fight. A sound beating, a unanimous decision victory for Miguel Torres. Now we move on to Gleison Tibau versus Rafael Dos Anjos. I thought we'd see a unanimous decision for Gleison Tibau, just being the bigger, stronger guy and putting more pressure using his wrestling. He also had some good boxing. But Dos Anjos was the buyer beware of. He had one-shot knockout power. Both guys were Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts, so I didn't see a submission coming. Went all the way to the decision. We got a split decision. Fun battle, exciting battle. Gleison Tibau won it in the split decision. Both men had their moments. Fun battle if you get to check that one out. Moving on now to our last of the Facebook prelims. It was Tom Lawler and Chris Weidman. We thought that Chris Weidman would win with the unanimous decision. I thought he was just going to be better than Tom Lawler everywhere. No disrespecting to Tom Lawler. Good wrestler, but I didn't think he was a great wrestler. Both guys were decent strikers, and I knew that Weidman would have some submission Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu advantage. I just didn't know if Lawler would give it up considering his wrestling pedigree. Well, Chris Weidman, instead of a unanimous decision, won impressively with a first-round Darish choke. I already said I think he's the future of the middleweight division. I'm standing by that, and every time I see him, I'm even more amazed by the performances he's putting out in front of us. Okay, that was everything for the Facebook prelims, and we have now went 4-1 on those. We're going to move up now to what happened on the Spike fights for the prelims. First one was Michael McDonald versus Alex Soto. We had Michael McDonald winning by a second-round TKO. He's ferocious. He's a top prospect. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the bantamweight division. I had him winning with a second-round TKO. Came out and did it in the first round. Devastating, vicious, and oh so impressive again. Another top prospect. Another young competitor that's going to be a contender coming up. And then we go to the last of the two Spike fights, Ryan Bader, Jason Brills, both guys with the wrestling background, both guys coming off of losses, needing to get back in that win column. We had a third-round TKO prediction for Ryan Bader. Bader caught Brills right away, first-round TKO. Welcome back to the win column, Ryan Bader. You didn't get guillotined. That's good to see. That's another right prediction for us. We'll move up to the main card. The main card started off with Stephan Bonnar and Kyle Kingsbury. I predicted Kyle Kingsbury by a unanimous decision. The fight did go all the way to the decision unanimously, but nothing about that said Kyle Kingsbury. I'm sorry for doubting Stephan Bonnar. I think I even said in my last video I was cheering for him, but I didn't pick him. I was kind of scared. I thought that Kingsbury would outmuscle him, outstrength him, outbox him. I was wrong. Bonnar is a great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, used a lot of control, beat up Kingsbury, totally dominated that fight. So that's a wrong prediction on my part. Next fight we're going. It was Martin Kampmann and Rick the Horror Story. I thought that Story would win via the unanimous decision. Ended up being a split decision victory. Martin Kampmann, though. Story pushed forward, blew his tank in the first round. Second round, third round looked very good for Martin Kampmann. He's back to being the old Kampmann. And at some point in this fight, he started out-grappling Rick Story. So color me surprised. I could not believe that. I was in shock. Rick Story, his physicalness, his wrestling ability, his constant takedowns, none of that happened against Martin Kampmann. So whatever defaults Kampmann had in his game when he took on Diego Sanchez and Jake Shields, he has now overcame them and is back better than ever, looking to be a welterweight contender. Congratulations to Martin Kampmann. I had a wrong pick. Now we get up to what I labeled the co-main event, because it was to determine the next bantamweight title contender to go up against Dominick Cruz. It would either be Cruz Faber 3, or we get to see Bowles versus Cruz 2, and maybe actually get to see a full fight this time. Well, I had predicted unanimous decision win for Uriah Faber. I think he really would just outclass and shine a little bit more than Brian Bowles, but it was one of those things that Brian Bowles has this great one-shot knockout power. So let's see what he could do with it. He got guillotined first or second round. I'm not completely remembering now. We're on Monday, sorry. But Uriah Faber, impressive performance, tight guillotine choke, like an anaconda snake, just sucked the venom and took the life out of Brian Bowles. Proved that Uriah Faber is without a doubt definitely worthy of trying to settle his grudge with Dominic Cruz and get that Faber Cruz 3. It should be an exciting fight. That fight also earned Uriah Faber submission of the night. And I forgot to mention earlier, though, Michael McDonald from our Spike Fights did get knockout of the night with his first round TKO. Go back to the results, my bad, everybody, with our co-main event of the night where Wanderlei Silva took on Kung Lee, and we thought that Kung Lee would win with a first-round TKO. He almost did it. I swear he separated Wanderlei Silva from his senses for a split second. It was not all the way done. Wanderlei Silva ends up winning with a second-round TKO stoppage. It's a little bit in question. Thought the ref stopped the fight early, but there was no denying that Wanderlei Silva had punished Kung Lee. Kung Lee's nose being obliterated. I wouldn't have been surprised to see a doctor stoppage at the end of the round, but I still think that the ref ending the fight at the time he did, he shouldn't have. It should have went to the doctor stopping it at the end of the round, I feel. But congratulations to both of those men because they got fight of the night. Great co-main event, striking war. Glad to see Wanderlei Silva isn't done. I thought he was. We'll see how we predict his next fight. But for Kung Lee, first time seeing him fight live. Oh, great wild kicking style. I think he needs to work on keeping his hands up like a lot of guys do, though. We're going to move on now to the co-main event. Mauricio Shogun Rua versus Dan Hendo Henderson. I thought that Rua would win with the third round TKO, being the first guy to ever stop Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson comes out. He must have heard my words and got angry by them because he just obliterates Shogun. We all thought he was going to end the fight in the first round. This fight will now and forever shall be known as the greatest fight in UFC history. It has jumped over the Forrest Griffin-Stephan Bonner War of Ultimate Fighter Finale 1. The first 3 rounds were controlled by Dan Henderson, even though Shogun did land some vicious strikes and knockdowns within those times. But every time by the end of the round, you would have to go 10-9 for Shogun. The 4th round, Shogun came back and definitely took that one, won his first round. And then we get to the controversial 5th round. Why is it controversial? Because Shogun, using his BJJ, took down Henderson, achieved mount 3 to 4 times, was landing punches, didn't have the energy to be able to finish. But I thought it was such a dominating round that at the end of the round, I was screaming draw like Dana White was now. The end of the result, though, a unanimous decision victory for Dan Henderson, 48-47. Let me break that down for you guys. Mixed martial arts, a 10-point must-scoring system. Henderson won the first 3 rounds 10-9. So that made the score if you're 30-27. And then it was 37 to 39 when we all felt that Shogun won the 4th round, winning 1 round. Then the way that I looked at the fight, the way I heard Dana White felt about the fight, it should have been a 10-8 round in the 5th round, making it a 47-47 draw. Either way, we don't want to taint that it was an incredible night, and it was a great fight. We were wrong on that pick. We were wrong on the Kung Lee pick. For the whole weekend of doing the picks for Cage Minds, we went a 10-6 record, 10 correct picks, 6 wrong. We were 3-1 on Bellator and 7-5 on the UFC. Try to do better next time we're back with you guys. This has been Cage Minds. Hope you guys have liked the show. Leave us comments. Follow us on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. Hope everyone's following their dreams like we're trying to do. Hope you can uncage the warrior within yourself. Have a good night and check out another Cage Minds again soon.